here they are, the Z1 AVT collab pedal covers. They're pretty lightweight aluminum. Cool set. These are the Grid series. Comes with a smooth finish dead pedal, a grid clutch and brake pedal, and then a smooth gas pedal. It has this additional hump similar to the Nismo 380 RS gas pedal. It makes it easier to heel toe. I've had this kit for a while now. The reason why I haven't put it on my car is as soon as I opened the box, I threw away the hardware. Yeah, I was probably too excited about these pedals arriving, so I had to just stop by the store today to pick up some additional hardware. I went with these black finish bolts. I think the black looks good in contrast with the pedal. Kind of like this. I had to get 16 of these bolts, M4 by 0.7, as well as the M4 washers and nuts. Also probably going to put some Loctite on the threads of these, just because I'm super paranoid about them coming off. This is the current state. Really ratty looking plastic pedal covers. Once these AVT pedals are in here, it's really gonna pop. It's gonna look a lot more race car-ish. And even if it's not race car-ish, it'll just look more premium. So we're gonna start by taking these covers off, measure, create templates so that the pedals are positioned perfectly, drill some holes, put the pedal covers back on, and tighten the bolts. Should be a pretty straightforward process. At least I hope. For the dead pedal, all you have to do is use a flathead screwdriver to unscrew this plastic nut that fits over these exposed studs, and then the dead pedal pops right off. The brake and the clutch, those really just slid off with some pliers, so that was super simple. Removing the gas pedal is just a clip, and then the pedal will swing forward and slide off of the metal bar.
You've probably already noticed that there's already holes in my gas pedal, and that's because I filmed these clips out of order.
Now we're going to put some templates with tape and measure where we want everything positioned.
I left the gas pedal in here so I could align all the pedals at once before making marks. First up is the gas pedal. I decided to remove this and remark it outside of the car because the OEM gas pedal and the new pedal cover have edges that are very similar and made it really easy to align so that they're perfectly straight.
When we mount this, we'll be able to determine the position of the clutch and the brake covers more accurately. All I need to do is install the washers and bolts onto each of these exposed threads here to make sure that this pedal cover isn't going anywhere when I kick it. There you go. This is now very solid. I'm just gonna throw some Loctite on the back of these.
You see that bolt in the top right corner of the gas pedal where there's a lot of extra thread? That thread and the nut itself interfered with the metal pole that the gas pedal cover clips onto. What I wound up having to do is shave down that bolt and then eliminate the nut entirely and bank on the other 3 bolts holding the pedal cover in place. Instead of actually bolting the top right corner of the gas pedal, it's epoxied and a facade.
Nice and level. At least as close to level as we can possibly get. What we're gonna do while I take a little break from the sun is drill and get the dead pedal mocked up. The way that this original plastic dead pedal is removed is using these plastic bolts here. They look like this. But when I put the pedal cover, there's no way that I'm going to be able to actually screw these bolts back in. So what I'm going to do instead is take these new bolts here and mount them to the back side of this pedal so that I can take these and screw them in once the pedal is mounted. So first thing I'm going to do is drill some holes in the plastic piece. Alright, so that looks pretty good. So now that this isn't going to move and it's centered on here, I'm just going to add a little mark with my drill bit at each point where I need to drill into. We can remove this tape and the pedal cover. Now we're going to look on the back side and make sure there's not any interference. There's nothing that's going to get in the way. And it looks like we're going to be okay. Some new drill bits. And I'm going to go slightly undersized for the M4 bolts, just so I can get an idea of whether or not there's enough space on the back end for the screw and bolts to actually fit. Committing a felony act here by putting a DeWalt drill bit onto a Milwaukee drill. Before we make any more holes in this, let's just take a look on the back side. There is going to be enough space to fit the new bolt over this hole. I'm going to step up the drill bit size and open these up a little bit. Just going to take one of these bolts and create somewhat of a threading here. Ready to accept the new pedal cover. And then we're going to lay the cover over and get the bolts rethreaded. This time we're going to install all 4 of the bolts. Now, that's not going anywhere. That's pretty secure. But I want to add some nuts on the other side. That way it's even more secure. Throw down some padding. Next up, we'll mix some epoxy, add that onto the back of these, and then we'll be able to install the pedal cover when the pedal cover assembly is installed in the car already. As you can see here, these nuts are now locked in place, even if the bolts have been removed. That way we can take the cover off if we ever need to remove this plastic assembly. And we won't have to break anything by pulling too hard. Gas pedal is in, looks good. Now it's time to mock these up, mark off some holes, and get the clutch and brake pedal installed.
Once I reinstalled the gas pedal, I tried a couple different methods to mount the clutch and the brake pedals. One of which was using a bubble level, and the other was creating a line through the driver's side footwell with tape. The bubble level wound up working a lot better. I just used the bottom edge of the gas pedal as a reference point, and the angle that sits at was the angle that I used.
See where I mark the holes so that both the pedals are in line. Here's the scary part. Here we go.
I switched up my plans at this point and decided to create threads in the clutch and the brake pedal so that I could simply bolt the covers on and add nuts on the back end for added security. This is kind of like what I did for the dead pedal, except a little bit more difficult here because the clutch and brake are metal. So I had to buy a new drill bit properly sized to a drill tap to make threads for the M4 by 0.7 bolt.
These bolts are now just threaded into the actual pedal assembly. Makes it a lot more secure. This pedal is not going anywhere. So not only are they threaded, but there's a bolt and a washer on the back side. So we're gonna go ahead and thread in the clutch pedal and then reinstall the dead pedal, and we're done. Got the gas, brake, and clutch pedal all installed, all straight, all looking delicious. I'm really happy with the pedals. The clutch and brake covers are super grippy. The gas pedal gives plenty of room for some heel toe action. The dead pedal is just there. Overall, these look way better than what I had before. I'm gonna save you a lot of time if you're planning on installing these AVT pedals in your Z or G or whatever car. If you want to do it the way that I did, where I created an actual thread pitch on the pedals so the covers simply bolt on, you're gonna need a drill bit that fits the size of bolts that you're putting in, as well as a thread pitch maker. What is it called? It's a pitch drive, thread drive.
I'll put a picture of what I used up over this. But that tool is very helpful. Do it by hand. You take an attachment for the bit and you spin that into the hole that you create with your drill bit, and then you get threads. It's magical. They work perfectly. And I was able to screw on the pedal covers with minimal effort. Okay, black and green, bold choice. The project did take me an additional day because the first pitch making tool that I was using broke. I decided to be lazy the first go around and use the bit in an impact drive, and the impact drive creates way too much torque to actually thread out the hole that you create with a drill bit. So I would advise using the hand tools to create your threads if you are going to do it the way that I did it. Comment below if you have any questions about it, the process, the tools, parts, and thanks. I appreciate it.